It's a great day and welcome to another exciting episode of Mind Your Mind podcast. My name is Joshua Awesome. Some people like to call me the Awesome Coach. And today we actually have a special guest with us. I say special because he also has read chapters, and he was saying to me, just before we started this interview, that he has not finished reading, Mind Your Mind. And for those who do not know, Mind Your Mind delves into the intricacies and the intricate workings of our thoughts, of our emotions, and the power of self-awareness. Our guest today is a distinguished double PhD holder. And I asked him what his name means. And I'd like him to actually unpack it for us as we delve into this. Join me in welcoming Dr. Biwizizwe.
That's it, Coach. I think you've pronounced it well.
Yes. No, but help me pronounce it excellently.
Nobiwizizwe. I think you did.
Nobiwizizwe.
Wow.
There we go.
That's excellent.
So, hey, Doc.
How are you, Doc?
I'm grateful to be alive. How are you?
Well, man.
Thank you so much for honoring us with your time and presence. Of course, for those who do not know, this podcast is supported by Organo. Now, for the benefit of those who do not know, Organo Gold is actually an amazing brand that I stumbled upon, I think about a decade ago. And it's an interesting story that I tell. Before this, I never used to drink coffee because it wasn't part of my story and my life. But more importantly, a gentleman had offered me a sachet of this excellent high and premium brand. And I recall I was offered the black. And interestingly, I said to the gentleman, a Jamaican American friend of mine, I said, I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee. Long and short, he said, you want to try it? And got back into my hotel room. I was doing a project for a client overseas, and I tossed it on my table. But interestingly, he said to me the following day, and I'd like you to, tell me what your experience was like. And I said to him, I guess you didn't listen to me. I don't drink coffee. and then he says, you know what? I'll offer you the chocolate brand. And then he offered me the chocolate version of it. And when I had the chocolate version, I noticed a sudden energy and a kick that was pulling me in. And I had to go and read up some more and understand. Long and short, I realized that there's a lot of research behind the herb that is inside it, which is Ganoderma lucidum. Which is another name for that is the elixir of youth, and was consumed by Chinese royalties, for centuries back then. And but we're so grateful that the visionary leadership has been able to birth this into products, and these products have been around for 15 years. So we're grateful to Organo for sponsoring this. So having said that, Dr. Dlamini, I wanted to ask you, your first name, what does it mean? Maybe we should start from there.
Wow. First, let me introduce myself.
Please.
Let me first appreciate the invite you gave me.
I'm humbled
to be in this
that you accepted it. Thank you.
Let me also say, before I can speak any words, let me speak to the universe and the God Almighty, that whatever is going to come out of this mouth, it's not only to be shared by me, but all those who are listening to this podcast, and all those who have shown interest in listening to it, they grasp, they learn, they feel, and they feel motivated after we've engaged. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's go.
I know you're a multi-potentialite. So for those who do not know, Dr. Dlamini is a multi-potentialite, and I'm really thrilled and grateful, to be discussing this fascinating book. Over to you.
Appreciate again. Let me first tap and appreciate the beautiful name that you've anointed me with, the potentialite.
Yes, you are a multi-potentialite.
A multi-potentialite, I appreciate. But let me say this, Mngcobo Wezizwe. It's a name that I was given by my father more than 40 years ago.
Wow.
He gifted me with the name. And I'm definitely sure when he gifted me with the name, he was a spiritual person. Obviously, and he believed in ancestors, but he also believed in God. I think there was a multiple messages that came from God higher, and also the ancestors. Looking at where my family is coming from, in terms of being a disunited family,
right?
In terms of a family that has been trying to strive to reform themselves and reunite themselves financially, psychologically, but also socially, and also bring each other as a family together. I'm sure he had a dream and said, this is the man who will unite this family. Now, what does Mngcobo Wezizwe mean? It means we appreciate you, God, that we've received a son who has a global mental power. This global mental power, what does it mean? It means it's somebody who will conquer the world in a global perspective.
Wow.
So that's what Mngcobo Wezizwe means.
Wow.
It's a global conqueror in all aspects of life. When I mean all aspects of life, I don't want to shy away from money, which is wealth. I don't want to shy away from intellect. I don't want to shy away from health. I don't want to shy away from all perspective of where you are looking at life in general. So it is Mngcobo Wezizwe.
My brother,
Thanks,
I am humbled, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Ace, that name is powerful.
Thanks, man.
It is powerful. As Africans, we have so much to unfold and unleash to the earth and the planet. As you're talking about that name of yours, I remember that I did not mention my middle name. And my middle name is Oludare.
What does it mean?
Hey, it means that the greater one has created something great, has brought, something good to the world.
So today,
and it could also mean other things, for people. It could mean that the greater one has created something that would eventually vindicate you. In other words, when you are standing in the courts of life, where is your mind pulling towards, or what is pulling you towards a place? The solution is right here. And that's why I'm excited about Mind Your Mind. And I know that you've jumped into the book, and that's your copy. I see it's looking as if it's been read, eh?
it is.
I can see it's looking as if it's been read. And I see that you folded some pages here. For the benefit of those who do not know, Mind Your Mind, How to Stress Less and Achieve More is my latest book, and it is the inspiration behind this podcast and behind the Mind Your Mind challenge that encourages people to have a habit, a healthy habit, where they are conscious of what they consume from their waking moment. This is why I consume Organo.
Okay, we can have a cheers.
Right. Right. So let's dive right in.
Okay, man.
And for me, I'd like you to, share with our listeners what initially drew you to this book of mine, and what you would say your overall impressions were after reading the portion that you've read.
Yeah. Doctor, that's a complex question, but I would like you to repeat again.
Okay.
For clarity.
So just to start, what initially drew you in to this book?
Doctor, as I'm saying, this is a very complex question, but I wanna simplify it for you. There are multiple things that drew me from this or from reading the book. One, I'm an author, so me being amazed seeing an African author like myself crafting something that related to the concern that I had at that specific time intrigued me and provoked me. That was the first thing. The second thing that drew me from this book is that when I first saw I'll call it an advert, or I'll call it your pitch in LinkedIn. Let's call it a pitch in LinkedIn.
I met this man through LinkedIn, by the way.
So I was restarting afresh in terms of me as a person. I was destroying the old me and I was rebuilding the new me. I had to deassemble myself as an old car and reassemble myself, and all unnecessary and unwanted parts I had to exclude. So in contrary or in contrast, it was just a coincidence that I had a tool that spoke to what my assignment was speaking to, which is mind over mind. Because you cannot reconstruct yourself when your mind is not clean.
Wow, I love what you just said. You cannot reconstruct yourself. You cannot realign yourself when your mind is not clean. I usually like to say that in itself is a prefix. Oh my word. And the one thing that we need to constantly be keeping our mind around is stuff that is clean, that is helping us to be able to connect with, the inner us. Amazing. Wow.
So that was the intention. So how did it happen? It happened in a manner whereby I was attending psychiatric sessions, and when we first met, I told you. And when I was attending these psychology sessions, I then invested calmness in me to find out what is the bigger objective of a psychiatrist when he engages you. And then I realized that before I can even engage a psychiatrist,
Right.
I need to expose myself into this beautiful book
Right.
and work on my mind.
Right.
So that was the bigger objective, and that's what provoked me before even reading the book.
Right.
It was just an alignment. It was a universal coincidence. It was a God planned thing. It's connected.
Wow. Amazing. No, thank you so much, Dr. Dlamini, for that. And interestingly, one of the central themes of the book is self-awareness. So, and I'd like you to, further delve into, your self-awareness journey and how, Mind Your Mind has impacted, your perspective on self-awareness.
I don't think we've got enough time, but this is a broader. It's a very broad question. I don't think we have enough time. But before I can answer that question, I underestimated the book. I underestimated the power of retransforming yourself as a person. And what is bad with a person who is untransformed, or who is scared of challenges, or who has a phobia of change, is that you do not know that you can unleash as many potentials within you. Hence I said, I don't want to be broad, and I don't want to divert from this. But I want to call this book a spiritual gold. I would have given it a spiritual tanzanite, but most of the people are not familiar with the precious mineral tanzanite. So let's call it a precious gold.
Wow.
And a precious gold, it's not just any gold. It's sourced from mines that very few of us are aware of. I know South Africa is a gold mining platform or place, but a specific special gold, it's something extremely exclusive. When I met you, I was weighing 108 kgs. That was 3 months ago when we had an engagement. And I was busy thinking that how do you transform yourself as a person? Not only weight, presentation, not just only presentation, your aura, the way people perceive you, the way you speak, the way you influence things. And I didn't know that I had a very exclusive tool that I think that needs to be exposed and be consumed by everyone in this nation, and again globally. I had stretched myself in such a way that I was reading each and every piece in Google that was going to assist me to retransform myself. Being unaware that I had a precious gold just next to the side of my bed.
Wow. I am so humbled by what is unfolding from within your inner landscape, Dr. Dlamini. And I'm sure those who are watching this or will get to watch this would also attest to what I have just shared. And I you know, when I look at my life, I started practicing, you know, the need to mind my mind a long time ago, and this title did not come to me until during the pandemic. 2 days after the pandemic. Prior to this, I had hosted 36 researchers from around the world. But I'm grateful that this, you know, book emerged from within me. This, you know, golden resource, which has further helped my own level of consciousness. And to hear you also affirm that and, you know, talk to that is, you know, it's quite incredible how, you know, impactful these practices can be in our lives, you know. And we both know, I mean, we know that, you know, when we mind our minds, it covers a couple of areas, from our emotional intelligence to our power and our paradigm, you know, and the specific chapters, you know, that talks and resonates with, you know, what you've just shared. And you know, so if we begin to look and ask, the chapters you've read so far, which chapter deeply resonated with you, you know, around framing, reframing, perspective, you know, talk to us about that.
You love asking difficult questions. I'll say to me, it may not be the answer that you are looking for.
Please, go ahead.
The answer that you like. I say each and every answer provoke new things. And I'll explain why. Because I think it's also good for the audience that is consuming this. When we say mind your mind, we are saying what you consume and what you are. We've got coffee here. If you can see, you've got premium real coffee. Some of you have never heard of about premium. Some knows premium cars, BMWs. You know, we've got kings, and some of us knows all kings are respected. You know, what does it say to you? It says, your mind, it's your Ferrari of life. So what this book has done for me, is that it has restructured my life. I can tell you today, if you consume knowledge from this book, as I'm saying, because I'm speaking about chapters, if you consume knowledge from this book, after reading few chapters, maybe 1 to 2, 3 chapters, it will be impossible for you to raise a voice on any person. It will be impossible for you to judge any person. It will be impossible for you not to have a to-do list of any specific thing that you're doing now. I'm speaking about waking up, drafting your day. I'm talking about something that Dr. Joshua has said. He said himself, he's the greatest. Even when you sleep, it does tell you. Can you reflect on your day today? Can you celebrate what you've done today? Even when you are driving, it tells you, can I please say these affirmations? Only great things will happen into my life. Even somebody, when you are driving, they decide that they want to engage into a road rage. You just say something. You just say, today I'm having a great day. And I tell you, it has happened with me. They deflect from you. So amazing. So tapping into the chapters. I'm saying each and every chapter of this book carries an exclusive learning, carries an exclusive message. You know, if you do not consume what is here, I have read books. I have read secrets. I have read autobiographies of people. I've read spiritual books. I've read the Holy Bible. I've read the Quran. I've read a lot of books. And this is amazing what I'm going to do today. I would like to anoint this man's mind to mind and also anoint his mind that this is one of the exclusive castle that I've ever came across.
Wow. I am deeply grateful. I am deeply grateful. So as we begin to wrap up, this is a lot to unpack, guys. I am grateful for the insightful perspective you brought. And for me, it truly has been a fantastic journey with you. And as we begin to wrap up, I want you to please bear in mind that everything that you have shared has been enlightening for me, as I believe it has been enlightening for our guests. So, any final words?
I'm put on the spot again. I wish I had a microphone on my head. I wish I saw a lot of people here, cheering for me. But the final words that I want to say today, I say today, as much as I am sitting here, I wish I would be sitting there. And why? We do not celebrate people that does good. We do not celebrate people that are contributing and impacting our society. I may not know Dr. Joshua's intention. I may not know his vision, but I'm blessed to be sitting here, to be connecting with him, to be connecting with the book, and also to want to share something. It will be unfair of me not to promote this beautiful gold that anybody that consumes this. It will be impossible of you not to change from who you are into a better being. I have lost 20 kgs within a period of 3 to 4 months. I look good in the skin.
Oh yes, you look good.
Because I drink water, which I neglected for the rest of my life. I have a family balanced life. I know now how important it is to balance work and also to balance with family. I know how much important it is to do your improvement structure, daily improvement structure. I know where I was 3 months ago and I know where I am today. I know what I've inherited as a person who has a vision to be impactful and to be influential on earth. I now have acquired this skill to influence other masses, as I'm also an influential person. So again, I would like to applaud and anoint this man and appreciate him and thank God Almighty in the above heavens for the opportunity. And you are gold.
Thank you so much. And to conclude, we're grateful to Organo Gold for sponsoring and supporting us with this podcast. For those who do not know, Mind Your Mind is not just a book. It's a journal. It's much more than a book. It's a journal. It is a challenge towards helping you to shift and change and become your best self. And that's why we are grateful to Organo Gold, our beverage partner. And hopefully, if you get to watch this, please leave your comments below this video, or reach out to me, Joshua, at mindinstitute.africa, and look out for the NED podcast. Until next time, when we come your way with another podcast coming to you from this space and this place, I'm grateful to Dr. Dlamini. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, and thank you to you too, for watching. And please, by all means, share this video and share it with your friends, your family. And remember, for you to have a better life, it begins by having a better brain. Bye for now.
Thank you.